Hey there, this is Ryan Kingsline, founder of Zbrush Workshops and the brand new creatureworkshops.com. So, welcome to the new ZBrush, ZBrush 4R2. And man, you are in for a treat when you get your hands on this thing. Dynamesh is about freedom, and that's the promise of ZBrush, and that's what ZBrush is delivering with this R2 release. Just the freedom to create and start to get in from nothing, from a simple sphere, evolve all kinds of forms, creatures, mech things, pistols, assault rifles, whatever you need to create, you can get in there and create. Dynamesh makes so much possible, and so to really show it off to you, I created this thumbnailing system. And so the thumbnailing system pulls from Pixelator's Claytime 4 video, where he showcases the two-tone material system that he developed. And thumbnailing is just exactly what illustrators and concept designers do. But in this case, we're doing it in 3D in an actual sculpture. So it's going to take a little bit longer than the 1 minute or 30 seconds or 5 seconds per thumbnail. But in terms of sculpting time, this is crazy fast. So all of the models you see in front of you here, these are all done really quick, 20 minutes or so. And I've recorded the entire process of creating them for a workshop at Zbrush Workshops. But I'm going to share with you this whole process, how these things work, the tool sets that you need, and how they all interrelate and work together. One of the important things to keep in mind about Dynamesh is that it doesn't matter whether or not you're creating these, say, female robots, or whether or not you're creating very mechanical kind of robotic creatures or objects, or whether or not you're creating more organic kind of insects. Now I'm just flipping back and forth through the background right now. It's a pretty cool new feature. Allows you to drop these down and store them. But this gives me the ability, this Dynamesh feature gives me the ability, no matter what I'm doing, to go in and just start to sketch out form and start to figure out what things are going to be on the fly without having it pre-programmed. So that's the freedom side of it. Now, of course, with with this freedom comes great responsibility. You have to actually design something. So it is absolutely going to force you to think through your skills, really get in and start to understand the grammar of form in a whole new way. Let's take a look at one of the sculpting processes that's used to create one of these guys. So we start with a very simple sphere. Okay, now this is a little tough to see because it's got a bit of a dark background. That's part of the silhouette, although later I lightened the background. That's part of just focusing on this thumbnailing aspect. So in this case, I'm just trying to find the base shape and trying to understand the body part. I haven't got into the limbs yet. Going to do that in about 20 seconds. But I just want to have a sense of some silhouette, some form, something. Now, I'm not concerned about topology. I'm just concerned about overall shape. And my primary tool is snake hook. Snake hook, and then I'll use move brush and trim dynamic. But here you can see me using snake hook to pull out these limbs. And I'm pulling them backwards, trying to find some interesting design, trying to find something that would work and that I think really sells it. Now, I wanted to create something unique, something that's going to be a little bit more than just a simple little insect bug, because this guy's literally standing on these things. So he's got to have some sort of balance and all of that. So here we are, just using snake hook, pushing and pulling and remeshing. And that's the amazing part of Dynamesh, is that you're constantly remeshing. And now using these curve tools, just going in there and adding curves, adding geometry, and then remeshing to blend that in so it's all one piece. This whole tool set here of snake hook, move brush, and then these new curve brushes, in this case curved tubes, really set you up for a system to go in and quickly design stuff. Okay, now I'm using that two-tone material, and I'm using Damien standard brush to do line work. So the entire time lapse for this is about 15 minutes. And I've sped it up here to just kind of give you a quick overview of this process. But you can see, we're using Snakehook to go in, create the form, and then we're going to go in and do some interior line work and try to sell the piece a little bit more. Doing line work on the arms, and then once I've got the line work set up, I'll come in with Move Brush, AccuCurve on, and actually go in and start to shape them a little bit. But right now I'm just trying to develop some kind of language of the structure of this guy. Okay, this is another really interesting part, this insert brush, but I pressed Alt while inserting, so it actually cuts into the model, creates these really nice patterns. Very easy to do, just press Alt, insert sphere, pull it out. Alright, and now in there with the Move brush, with AccuCurve on, and just giving this that kind of organic quality. So you can see pulling it out with Snakehook, and then coming in, starting to define what it's going to look like, starting to give it its reality, so to speak. All of this happens fast, and that's what's really amazing. Plus, at the same time, all of this is happening with this kind of silhouette. So it all looks really simplistic. I don't see the stuff that's going on inside there. I just see this model and this kind of general setup. This very basic silhouette of it. And I'm going to double down on that and really emphasize this idea of just looking at the silhouette by going in and really lightening this background. And then just, basically baking these in to the background. All of these ones that I've already created. So it's a real fascinating process to be able to get in there and just start to create, whatever comes to mind. Use the Snakehook brush, pull out a form, and then bring it back in and retopologize, see what happens. So let's take a look at that inside of Zbrush for a moment and see really how that all plays out. So I'm going to set my working space to 90, and then see if I can't bring in one of these guys. This is going to be Bug 3 is the model we've worked with. And you can see our rendering setup is all working here. I'm going to change one modification I made. I'm going to set Glen shader down to 0. Alright, so here's the model. You can see we've just pulled things out. Now let's do a little bit more work and see what we can come up with. I'm going to switch over to Snakehook brush, and then with Snakehook brush see where I can pull something out. So maybe this guy could have a two-leg setup. Something coming out of the back. I'm going to just remesh, and then let's remesh that and then pull this down. So that looks a little fantastical, especially since we're a little off balance. But that's one option, and all of that could flow. Not too many problems there. But let me see. Maybe what we can do is add that second leg that we were thinking about. Let's just add it right here in the front. And one thing that's kind of neat to do is just insert a sphere. It's literally like inserting a piece of clay. And let's set our color swatch to the dark color. Yeah. And now that's a piece of clay we put on the model that we can now switch over to Snakehook brush and start to move around. Now, because we put it in with the insert brush, it auto-masked everything. So now we just come in, see what we want to see. Let's focus on this profile here real quick. I'm going to use the inflate brush, press Alt. Okay, and back into Snakehook. So what can we pull out? Let's go boom, down. Okay, clear your mask, and then remesh it. Now you may want to make sure group is on, And that way it retains a separate group, and we control shift click, keep it separate. Much more relevant when you get in and you start to work on mech stuff. But now I need to go in and inflate it because it's pretty thin right now. So that's fine, fair enough. Inflate and smooth a bit, and then I like to come in with the move brush with AccuCurve. Okay, and AccuCurve, if you don't know, this is just a fantastic brush for pulling out form. And let's use Damien's standard brush to just set myself up. So RGB, let's see, lower that draw size, and yeah. Try to flatten that a little bit. Okay, get a nice roundness. And maybe we can pull out something here. Make sure perspective is off. Alright. Some sort of contouring. Come around, move brush. Really just emphasize that. And then, and back into Damien's standard brush. And yeah, we want to lighten this whole area. Okay, so another little piece added in there, really quick, using just a couple of tools. Snake hook, move, and all the topology, everything is solved for me. Now I can just go in and add parts, add pieces as much as I want.